Tony the Shadow Man. Yeah, glasses in my pocket. I haven't seen the dude in a long time, but when he sits me down next to him at the park, insisting I take a seat on the bench as if I were a young boy obeying an old man patting a seat for me, I do. He looks worn, but not so worn that I don't recognize him. Straight white teeth and sharp gray eyes under a lazy swirl of hair help him retain his handsomeness, but he reeks of booze. I know him. I like him. He starts in on the life story. It leads up to this. You got it made, man, but I don't. I don't know why, but it seems like there's always been a shadow over me or something since I was a kid. I'm not blaming God or nothing, just wondering. What do you mean? Nothing. But do you remember Dora, who moved away in the 6th grade when her parents got divorced? Came back later and lived on Travers? Dora with the frizzy hair? Yeah? I started seeing her when you were away in college. About that time. And we were having a good time, a real good time. Just doing shit that we did back then, you know, laughing and joking all the time. Big Dora, I called her. And she bumped my shoulder and told me to shut up, stupid. But she knew I loved her. He gulps. She knew she was the one for me. She knew everything about me. And I knew everything about her. Like we told each other stuff that was hard to say to anybody else. Shit that I even couldn't tell myself at night. But I could with her. Dora, I'd start. And she'd laugh and say, what? Say it. So I would. Dora? And I can't tell you, fucker, but it came out. The important stuff. We were tight. Sounds beautiful. Don't make fun of me, fucker. I'm not. She made me feel real good inside. Just being around her, you know. Watching her laugh and smile at me. She didn't have much going for her then. Not really. But she had me now and this job at the bank she hated still. And a few things she liked doing for a long time already. Like going out at night and walking. That's how we first met again, on a summer night. Dora taking a walk and me just hanging out in the yard, looking up at the stars. Tony? Dora? Yeah, me! How you been, Tony? It's been so long. We hugged and shit and got to catching up. You know, she filled me in on her life. There's not much, Tony, but there was enough. She had the job and a car and a good record collection she kept real organized in her room next to her stereo because she liked to dance by herself late at night, she said, when the house was quiet and the world slept. She could be like a poet. He looks away, far off. She had some nice clothes, too. A few expensive sweaters and shit stuck in her closet that she put on for me sometimes. And man, she looked great. She had that little style some chicks do without trying too hard. Tony, do I look all right? Shit, do you look all right? Where'd you pick me up from, baby? The dumpster? You're like a movie star on location. You're my planet, Tony. The only spot I want to land on. He looks away again. And she had a dog named Rufus that she let in the house sometimes, even though her mom got mad. A big gray dog, all shaggy and slobbery. He lifts up a hand to show me its height. Later I saw it looking out the window at me with sad eyes. But that was later. This was now, dude. She was alive with me inside her. I mean, knowing I was there. But she stayed home a lot and never came over unless I called her. Come over, Dora, I'd say. It's cool. Because I was lonely, too. You can't get away from loneliness. You can't. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Then we hung out on the porch or barbecued in the back when my parents were gone because I didn't want them to make a fuss. I got down to my back bedroom. It was cool. Sounds it. She even wrote me a letter once, signed it, Dora Die Hard for you. I didn't know. She always seemed skinny, but not too much. She had those bony knees, but so what? They worked. Forever, she put at the end. But I didn't hear from her for a while. You lose track in the county. Yeah. I was in a goddamn bote for DUI. Stupid warrant out for my arrest. Gomez, the dickhead, put me in there, and I still haven't paid him back. That dickhead, cop, pig, he spits. But I went up to her door first thing when I got out. I even brought some flowers, a dozen red roses I bought at Fuji, and some perfume. Sorry, her mother says. She's dead. Like that. After I knock on the door and stand back. She just stood there staring at me between the crack of the door. She was sick, honey. Didn't you know that? She said. Real sick. She had it in her bones all over. She explained it to me. Then she said she was tired and had to rest. She closed the door real slowly. I put my flowers down on the porch. Then I remember where her bedroom was, around the corner. And I put them right there under her window in the dirt. Rest in peace, Dora, I said. I crossed myself. I split. I walked home trying to cheer myself up, thinking it was better for her anyway if she was hurting there at the end like her mom said she was. But I couldn't shake it, man. I couldn't shake it. I couldn't believe it. God damn, I said to myself. Dead? How could she be dead? I just talked to her last time I was here, when I was out. But cancer had taken her, dead, like that. He snaps his fingers. But that was the second time it happened to me, man. That's the truth. Remember Arlene and how she got cancer and died? She was my first real girlfriend, my 8th grade chick. We had a lot of fun together, man. She was cool, too. Arlene with a split between her teeth, remember? Smiling and always punching me in the arm. Tony! Until we made out in the hall and she gave me all kinds of fucking hickeys on my neck. I couldn't even go nowhere without you guys making fun of me, remember? Hey, Tony, quit playing with the vacuum cleaner. Fuckers. But you were just jealous. I had the girl, Arlene. She had me. She said so. I got you now, Tony. You're mine. Cancer, too. Rodney barely tackled her in the lame football game at the 8th grade picnic, and then they took her to City of Hope after they discovered her bone wasn't just broken, but cancer. Filled with cancer. Shit. I visited her a few times. First at the hospital and then at home, right there on Center Street near your pad. I remember. She was set up in the living room in a hospital bed already, with all kinds of flowers and shit around her, balloons. She was all woozy and bandaged, drugged up one time I went there, not too long after the operation. She just looked at me and smiled, I swear, like always. Tony, get some cheer in your smile, boy. It's only a pierna. She didn't have no leg no more. I swear to God, I turned away crying. I couldn't help it. She got me that time. She was always like that, always laughing, always cracking me up. Tony, don't step on my foot. It hurts. Then when I went to see her one time, her mom said, she's dead, Tony. She stood at the door and cried again, dabbing her eyes. She was a brave woman, too, a Christian. I liked her. She liked me. That's why I dug Arlene so much, too. That's why I kept coming back. Her family liked me. They didn't think I was just a fuck-up. I'd go bouncing up the steps and find out the truth. Remember that summer? We were all at Camp Commerce for Teen Week thinking Arlene was going to live forever. Just sitting there in her bed making us laugh when we went to see her as if we were the ones dying, man. Not her. Last thing she said to me was, Tony, don't get fat now. None of the girls will like you. Then she winked at me like she knew I was going to be drinking my ass off. And none of the girls would have me after her anyways. Like she was still my number one. But I drank those years away, so I guess she knew something else she was trying to warn me about. I drank and got fat for too many years, man. My life was a waste between her and Dora. When we started partying, I didn't know when to stop. Do you want to come in, Tony? Her mother said. Sit down for a while? No, thank you, Mrs. Garcia, I said. I better go home. He pauses to take in the sky. It is faultlessly blue. The tree above us covers us in shade. Then the third one I didn't even want to talk about. But you know what happened to me last summer. Yeah, everybody knows, he says to himself. He got run over by a car. Right there on my street where they still drive crazy. Even with the sign I put up. Obey the speed limit. Me, the biggest fuck up in town. Sheriff John now. He was just playing ball with his friend when he turned around and got hit. Boom! Plastered by a hit and run. They didn't even know who it was. Everybody knows who comes down these streets. But this was like a phantom car zooming around the corner out of nowhere and keeping its nose pointed straight ahead. This thing is just going on down the road, fast and crazy, until nobody can see it anymore. And it's on Washington Boulevard and gone. A big black phantom. Probably a fucking drug dealer dropping off a load at the biker's pad. Nah. Nobody knew who it was. Nobody. They said they heard it screeching and a terrible thump and roaring off again, racing away. I don't know what you call it. Fleeing the scene of the crime, brother. Leaving like the chicken shit coward he was. My son dead in the street. Me at work in a warehouse loading up shit into a truck on a forklift. I was doing all right those days too. Not drinking so much and fucking off all the time. More like settling down some with Terry, getting along. I was cashing my paychecks and bringing them home without stopping at Nino's and getting so stupid. I was being a good family man. I was getting my shit together. I was doing it all for Ricky. I was thinking things were going to be all right now, for me. They're going to be all right still, Tony. They are. Yeah, I came home from work and everybody's in the street crying, looking distraught. I found out what happened in the house. I just turned around and walked outside and kept going. I didn't stop until I got to the cemetery. Then I laid my head against a tree and cried so hard and felt so empty, I don't think I'll ever be the same, brother. I'm empty inside. Empty. Oh, man. I'm sorry to hear that. All of it. You know what I think, man? What? I'm the Shadow Man. Tony the Shadow Man. Meant to take away your pain. Thank you.